Today's video is going to be very interesting because I'm ranking Sindel in every Mortal Kombat game based on her role in the story. And believe it or not, Sindel has a huge impact on pretty much every game she's in, which is quite rare for a Mortal Kombat character. Even the main heroes like Liu Kang and Cassie Cage often get sidelined, but not Sindel. In basically every game she's playable, her character has a big role in the story, which I'm sure might shock some fans given her popularity being low compared to other fan favorite characters. But yeah, story-wise, Sindel is a very big deal in Mortal Kombat. In her debut game, Sindel's already a main character and a key plot point in the story. Sometimes the writers make her evil, for some dumb reason, but even then she plays a big role, whether it's killing most of the heroes or turning Johnny and Sonya into sex slaves. Yep, that happened. I am not making that up, I wish I was. It feels like the writers just spin a wheel to figure out what Sindel's gonna be like in each game. Then in Mortal Kombat 1, it landed right in the middle, so we got evil and good Sindel. I guess, I'm just rambling. Despite how the writers treat Sindel, the fans clearly love her, so leave a like down below for Sindel, the original mommy of Mortal Kombat. And yes, that has a double meaning. Step on me, queen. For anyone new, I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6, so let's do it together. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, please let me know in the comments because I'm always looking for fun new video ideas. Alright everyone, without any further ado, let's begin. Alright, ranking Sindel in every game beginning with Mortal Kombat 3 because that's her debut game. And as mentioned earlier, she's already a main character, which very few Mortal Kombats can say. Typically when a new Mortal Kombat character shows up, they're either a henchman or a side character, but not Sindel. She's the big plot point. Without her, Mortal Kombat 3 can't even happen since Shao Kahn uses her to invade Earthrealm. She's the entire plot. So that's already interesting, but then on top of that, the heroes have a main goal to save Sindel because twist reveal, Sindel's actually not evil. Instead, she's just brainwashed and being manipulated by Shao Kahn. He's essentially lying about everything, which got Sindel on his side. So one of the heroes' main goal is to restore Sindel and get her back on the good guy side. So yeah, MK3 Sindel goes in huge impact, because yeah, obviously. Most of the game plot revolves around her. But real quick, I just want to gush about Sindel's appearance because I think she has one of the best designs in all of Mortal Kombat. First of all, her costume is unique and doesn't just rely on color like most other Mortal Kombat characters. Also, her makeup, hair, and eyes are enough to distinguish her. You know Sindel from her face and hair alone. That's awesome. So combine that with her powers, and yeah, Sindel is one of the most unique characters in Mortal Kombat, especially the early games. But alright, normally I would skip to Mortal Kombat Deception since that's the next time Sindel is playable. However, because Sindel's only in a handful of games, I wanted to explain what she's doing in the background in between games. After Shao Kahn gets defeated by Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 3, Sindel and Kitana give chase after him and proceed to kick him out of Edenia as well. In other words, they kicked Shao Kahn's butt off screen. Now to be fair, he was weakened by Liu Kang, but still, scoreboard, alright? Very few characters have ever defeated original Shao Kahn. Kitana and Sindel basically liberated Outworld from Shao Kahn's imperial regime. Awesome stuff. However, this victory is short-lived when Tanya betrays everyone and allows Shinnok to invade Edenia, which basically destroys it all over again. So yeah, during the events of Deadly Alliance, it's implied that Sindel is working to restore Edenia after Shinnok's defeat in Mortal Kombat 4. That's the main reason she's missing in both games, right? Mortal Kombat 4 takes place in Earthrealm, but Sindel is busy in Edenia. Kitana does actually compete in the Deadly Alliance tournament, I think, which is why she dies, unfortunately. But the one silver lining is that Sindel lives because she was in a different realm. And in Mortal Kombat Deception, we finally get to play as her again, so let's talk about that game next. Mortal Kombat Deception mostly follows the tale of Shujinko, with every other character playing minor roles in the story. However, Sindel is a rare exception because once again, she does something very awesome, in my opinion, freeing Kitana from Onaga. Yeah, this might be one of the best character arcs in Mortal Kombat history, and allow me to explain. First up, you have to understand Sindel's origin. Before the events of the very first game, her husband was murdered by Shao Kahn during an invasion, and afterwards, Sindel was forced to marry Shao Kahn, and dreading how awful this would be, she took her own life, which left Kitana to be raised and manipulated by Shao Kahn. Yeah, the same man who murdered her father, but of course she doesn't know that. Sindel leaving her daughter in this situation is very awful, but in Mortal Kombat Deception, Sindel has a chance to free Kitana from her new captor, Onaga. That's right, the new big bad villain, who's actually controlling a lot of heroes in this game, Kitana included. So now Sindel has a chance to redeem herself and free her daughter from a new tyrant, which she does. Sindel confronts Onaga and risks everything to save her daughter, which is honestly the perfect end to her story and very poetic. Deception Sindel goes in huge impact again. Like mentioned earlier, she plays a pretty big role in all of these games. Well, except for Armageddon, but to be fair, that game's story mostly follows Taven, and unlike in Deception, there's not much elaboration on what characters are doing because the gameplay is far more linear, so unless the characters interact directly with Taven, the new main character, we get zero information on what they're doing in the game, which is honestly why I consider Armageddon to have one of the worst stories in the entire Mortal Kombat series. Sindel unfortunately never interacts with Taven, and therefore gets zero story for this game, which is unfortunate given her track record in previous games. Then on top of that, Mortal Kombat 9 shows her dead in the background, which implies that Sindel died off screen while also doing nothing important in Armageddon. So yeah, I'm putting Sindel in does nothing and also dies tier because she does both in Armageddon. Alright, Mortal Kombat 9, Sindel is back baby, which should be good news. Except she's evil this time, and very evil. Not just brainwashed like Mortal Kombat 3, no, Sindel's evil this entire game. She never gets saved by Kitana, instead she kills her. Yeah, I didn't know much about Sindel when this game first came out, so this moment didn't shock me very much, but knowing everything I do now, yeah, this scene makes zero sense. Why would Sindel kill her own daughter? This new Sindel is nothing like the original, despite Raiden's intervention not changing anything about her story. You know what I mean? The entire point of Mortal Kombat 9 is that Raiden is changing some stuff which has a big impact on the overall story, but he does nothing to Sindel, so why is her personality completely different? In Mortal Kombat 3, she's just brainwashed, not evil, and after learning about her past and meeting Kitana, she joins the good guys, but in Mortal Kombat 9, she has her memories still, or at least it appears that way, since she does refer to Kitana as child, but like, she kills her anyway? Yeah, this scene is very strange, especially since her bio in this same game states that Sindel was originally good. So like, what's going on with this scene? She recognizes Kitana, but kills her anyway? Yeah, very strange. Anyways, I digress. Sindel kills nearly all the good guys in one scene. Yeah, in fact, Sindel's responsible for most deaths in this game. So despite her huge personality shift, Sindel still goes in huge impact tier, because yeah, killing most of the heroes is a very big deal. Now, was this scene lazy? Yes. Do most fans hate this scene? Yes. But still, Sindel does a big thing in this game. Alright, Mortal Kombat X. So here's an interesting situation, because Sindel's not playable in this game, however, she does appear in the story, which means I still want to rank her. Sindel's personality is basically unchanged from Mortal Kombat X. She's still evil and loves killing people. However, she appears happy to be reunited with Kitana.
Quan Chi reunited me with my family. He will do the same for you.
Sindel, you were already reunited with her in Mortal Kombat 9, and then you killed her. You were never forcibly separated from her. This statement makes no sense in Mortal Kombat X. Man, this video made me realize how little NetherRealm understands Sindel, or honestly, just how bad they are at writing villains. Maybe they watch too many Disney movies and not enough Game of Thrones, because villains can be very interesting when written well, but Sindel, like most NetherRealm villains, is just being evil because it's fun, I guess? Anyways, Mortal Kombat X Sindel is going in thug tier, because yeah. But oh boy, then we get to Mortal Kombat 11, which many people don't even consider Sindel because she acts so drastically different. And unlike in Mortal Kombat 9, where it's at least implied that maybe she's been bewitched or mind controlled by somebody, maybe it's Quan Chi, maybe it's Shao Kahn, who knows. However, Mortal Kombat 11 makes it clear that Sindel was never bewitched, she's not mind controlled, instead she's always been evil, and everyone just misremembers that and or lied about it. Yeah, get this, she killed her husband instead of Shao Kahn in this new twisted story. And I say new, but NetherRealm wants you to believe this has always been the story ever since Mortal Kombat 9, which is a massive plot hole and also makes Sindel way more unlikable. Now, Evil Sindel does have some fans, but even so, most fans hate Evil Sindel. I would say over 80%, maybe even 90% of Sindel fans hate the evil twist. However, that being said, MK11 Sindel does do a lot, from killing her husband and helping Shao Kahn rule over Outworld, world, to also sabotaging the heroes and helping Shang Tsung win the day, because don't forget, Shang Tsung does win in one of these timelines. We see that in Mortal Kombat 1, and Sindel played a big part in that. She freed Shao Kahn and helped betray the good guys, all of which made things easier for Shang Tsung. So yeah, without Sindel, Shang Tsung would never have won Mortal Kombat 11, which means once again Sindel goes in huge impact here. She can't be stopped. Alright, Mortal Kombat 1 has two Sindels actually. One of them is good and the other is evil. But I want to go on the record that good Sindel is written pretty well, at least in my opinion, because despite being a good guy, she has character flaws that make her interesting. In other words, her personality has depth, and I love that. Sindel loves her family and wants to keep Outworld safe, but also has extreme prejudice for Zaterans and Tarkatans, while also distrusting Liu Kang immensely. We rarely get deep characters like this in fighting games, so yeah, I'm excited to see what Sindel does in later games, and she's dead. Yup, poof, just like that, one of NetherRealm's best written characters is gone, killed by the generic evil version of herself. Some fans claim this is Mortal Kombat 11 Sindel, but I think it's actually MK9 Sindel since she has the white eyes. But honestly, it doesn't really matter since she gets killed immediately after too, so both Sindels die in the same mission. However, Sindel's good soul gets absorbed by her husband, who's actually Ermac in this game. I promise it makes sense in story mode, and it would have been interesting for Ermac to switch between both characters in the next game, but his arcade ending seems to imply he's never going to do that, so yeah, I guess Sindel is just gone forever. Or maybe NetherRealm finds a way to bring her back in the next game, but regardless, Sindel dies twice in this game and plays a decent role in the story. Maybe not huge impact, but yeah, she's still a big deal. And alright everyone, there you have it, ranking Sindel in every single game. Like mentioned earlier, she plays a pretty big role in every single game she's featured in, which is already cool and made even cooler by how unpopular Sindel is compared to the other big characters, right? Like all the ninjas and the lady ninjas. It feels like Sindel's always been way less popular than them despite being a big player in the story, so that's really cool to me. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, helps the channel out a ton. Then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.